Hey everyone, Tobias here again. So this is a quick video of me reviewing the 3-star units that are available on launch. So as a veteran player of the Chinese server, we had the benefit of having the clairvoyance of looking into the Japanese as well as the Taiwanese server, and then we were able to form kind of our own personal opinions as well as testing a lot of the units that potentially weren't too favored upon on release, but we had a lot more experience in terms of testing the quote-unquote Stone Age meta. But let's just go through it. So you can see in my previous video, I've got 3 stars off of my tutorial as well as my first 10x reroll. So the first one, of course, we'll talk about is Makoto. So Makoto, in I guess simple terms, is essentially the most investment safe unit on release, because Makoto is a very good defense shredder. And defense shredding is very important in this game where you're fighting against bosses, and if you're not stacking your defense shreds, you're going to be doing like 50-60% less damage to the boss with someone who has a proper setup. So that's why Makoto is generally very favored upon. I remember in the Chinese CB clan battle, the first season, if you didn't have Makoto or Jun, which is another defense shredding tank, released in the first banner, you actually would not be even considered for the top 200, I would say. So Makoto is definitely one of the best reroll characters. The only downside is she is not great in map pushing, so for story progression she's not going to shine. She will shine once clan battle comes out, and also when we get events, because event bosses usually have high defense as well, so she's going to do great there. The other 3-star I have is Shizuru, sorry. So Shizuru is a great tank. Her ability gives her a physical defense shield, and she does alright damage as a frontline tank. Her downside is that her position is awkward. So you have to understand in this game, there's positioning. So Shizuru actually, if placed on a team, will stand behind Makoto, who is a DPS defense shredder. So Shizuru is not going to be able to tank for Makoto, just due to the position. However, she is great for the map pushing, for her map pushing ability in general. If we look at her skills, she's got a heal, she's got the shield. Overall, just a great unit if you get her. I wouldn't put her too high up in terms of reroll. There are other units who can just do the tank job just as well, and they're 2 stars, but she's definitely a great unit. So going down the list, we have Anna. So Anna, she's a magic user. I would say initially she is great on release for PvP, because the magic team in PvP on release melts everything until people started building their Tamaki, which counters magic team. But Anna is great. Her downside is that she absolutely sucks at map pushing, because her ultimate decreases her armor so that she'll take more damage, and it's not great if that's what happens when you're pushing maps. Also, one thing you should remember when you're watching this video, I'm coming from a perspective which is mostly based on the Chinese server, which is a few months ahead, about 8 months ahead of the global launch. There will be people who tell you, get this character, or on one of the Japanese tier lists that a different character is ranked way higher than Makoto. First of all, that is way down the line. For example, Anna, after she gets her unique equipment, she is a beast. But on launch, she is good at PvP, but not used much in PvE. So different units in this game go through different times of their peaks, I guess. So it's quite important for you to understand that on launch, the meta is different than, let's say, 4 months down the line. So next we have Maho. So Maho is another unit that you can get from just farming one of the PvE modes, but Maho is undisputedly one of the best healers on launch. She has a single target heal. All of the other healers, Yui, Chika, they're more focused on AoE healing, and it's not as much. Maho not only has a single target huge heal, but also can blind the position 2 unit on the enemy team. So Maho is great at PvP as well as a fantastic support healer in PvE, which is in this case pushing the map. And on the global launch, there won't be a lot of content. For example, we don't know when clan battles will open. We don't know when they will announce the next banner. So Maho right now is definitely a top tier healer. Next is Reno. Reno, for those that never played the game, you probably have heard of the term Corona Rain, and that comes from Reno's 6-star ultimate, and it's absolutely bonkers. But before she gets her 6-star or before she gets her 4-star even online, she isn't that great. She has good physical DPS, but she requires a lot of units to be built around her. For example, the Saren or Yukari, who can TP charge her. So TP gauge is kind of like the ultimate bar, and once you can charge the bar to full, you can use the UB, which is the burst technique. So Reno definitely will shine in arena later on, especially against mage teams, because you can, get her TP charged within 5 seconds, and then she lets off some arrows, and the whole other team dies. But it requires some investment in terms of building units around her, as well as having her at least 4-star. So for her as a reroll target, I wouldn't be so keen. So definitely pales in comparison to someone like Makoto or Maho. So next we have Hatsune. Hatsune is quite good. She is decent in PvP. Her skill, if I remember correctly, let me take a quick look, does magic damage to enemy with the highest attack. So you often find her trying to snipe the enemy Tamaki, which is I think going to be the first arena meta Tamaki and tanks. But Hatsune is fantastic, high magic damage, really good in arena, okay-ish in map pushing just because of her AoE, but I wouldn't put her as my top priority for reroll in terms of the 3-star. Now next is Isle. So Isle was unique in the sense that she has charm, which means that after she casts her ultimate, the enemy team will attack each other. But it was nerfed because I remember Japanese release, the enemy team would use all sorts of skills as well as their UB, which is their ultimate, on each other. But that was changed, at least for sure changed now, because if Isle puts the enemy under charm and they have a full TP, they will not use their ultimate against each other, but rather wait until the charm is over. So she's alright for arena, kind of a nice to have if you have other key core units. Saren. So Saren or Saren, she's quite good. She is key in enabling a lot of comps. You can unlock her maybe not before the first clan battle, but with our scheduling and clan battle not coming out in potentially 3 months, you probably could unlock her just from completing hard story mode, so you can farm her memory fragments every day. And her unique ability is she has a skill, should be this one. Yeah, so it recovers the TP of the closest party member by a moderate amount. So it actually recovers quite a big chunk. And there's a picture or a document online showing, who is the closest member to Saren, so that she's charging the right person in terms of TP. I know Saren in the first guild battle really shined, or the clan battle really shined, because she was instrumental in enabling the charging wolf, as the Chinese people called it, which means that you had a higher overlap of defense shred, armor shred, because the TP charge allowed Makoto to keep using her UB and shredding and keeping the defense shred up. So Saren was definitely a star member of that, and also in PvP, Saren later enabled Ilya. Ilya is a super strong mage that on release, if you get her to 5 stars, she's going to destroy everyone in arena, regardless if you're whale or not. You will be able to climb rank 1 without much issues if you pull Ilya and also get her to 5 star. So Saren is definitely a good enabler, and she's good to have, but again, you can farm her quite easily. Nozomi. So Nozomi, similar to Maho, they come from the same PvE coin store. And Nozomi is usually the first 5-star tank you will have just because of how easily obtainable those coins are. Nozomi is quite good. It's a mixed tank, so it can tank Fizz and Magic. She has a stun interrupt, which is really good in Arena. Just a very good unit overall in terms of tanking. Allows you to push maps. She has a heal as well. Very good rounded unit. On my Chinese server, I started with Makoto plus Nozomi, and I had a very easy time just pushing through maps and then getting ready for my first clan battle. So Nozomi is definitely high on the list in terms of usability. Ninon's decent. I think when Ninon was first released in Japan and Taiwan, she wasn't looked too favored upon, just because there were better options. She's an AoE attacker, but what was interesting, when Ilya got released, and also just slightly before that, Ninon was used incredibly frequently to break a lot of defenses, because people figured out how to pair her with quick TP charge and AoE armor break, and just to she's like another Reno, the archer, and she does well in terms of just bursting some frail units down in AoE arena. In terms of PvE, I think she was used once to push the boss, because one of her skill allows her to push the enemy slightly back, but not a top choice for your initial start. Next is Akino. So Akino, you're gonna hear people say Akino is so good, Akino is so OP, but that doesn't come until what, 1.5 or 2 years later. Akino is unfortunately a jack of all trades on release, but master of none. So it can heal, can do alright damage, but the most crippling, I feel, aspect of her ability is that after she uses one of her skills, she just keeps standing there and keeps laughing and does nothing. So that actually is a huge negative against her, because of the time she loses. And also in this game, your actions, before you attack and after you attack, those animations are what triggers your TP gauge to increase. So if you're just standing there and laughing for 7 seconds, then you're not getting anything done. So unfortunately on release, Akino's not good. Monica. So Monica is really good in PvP. She has some uses in PvE, but overall she's a very PvP focused character. She has a speed buff for the entire team, which means that you cycle through your skills faster, you get to use your UB faster, which is key in Arena, because in Arena your opponent actually moves about a few frames faster than you, no matter if you have the same unit or the same level, same rank. Your opponent is always going to move just slightly faster than you. But with Monica, if you have Monica on the team against an opponent who doesn't have Monica, you will be faster. So Monica is often used in more offensive arena teams. And quite good as well, so not a bad choice for a 3-star. Next is Djeeta. So Djeeta is actually a cross or collab, I guess, character from Grand Blue Fantasy, which is another game by Cygames. Djeeta is decent. She later on is really good at TP charging, and initially she's one of, I guess, the top damage dealers, but she's soon replaced. I don't see her in a lot of action. I guess 2 to 3 months or 4 months even after Clan Battle was released, but she's not bad. If you pulled her on top of, let's say, Makoto, that's definitely great, because she deals a lot of damage as one of the first 3 stars. So those are all the 3 stars I've reviewed. I'll post a Discord link for, I'm going to create a Discord for this game, hoping to maybe get competitive with it in terms of Clan Battle, and maybe also make a side guild where people can just auto and have fun. But feel free to join the Discord, ask some questions. But that's my quick review of 3-star units in this game right now in the current release environment.